Okay, this is super easy, so you better do this now. You better do it right now. I'm watching. Take out your supplies. Here we go. Got 18 gauge wire, and we got a handful of 6mm amethyst. And that's it. That's all you need. 6mm, anything. Really anything any size bead that fits in the 18 gauge. I don't even know if this is gonna work. I just made this up in my head, but let's hopefully see if it works. All right, to make both even, it helps take a piece of paper and draw your loop the size you want. I'm gonna use my pinky finger for the size, but I have bigger hands than most of you dainty ladies, so you might wanna use your thumb finger, but whatever. So we're gonna go like this, and basically we want it to be about this big, like that. Now we're going to take about 7 inches, which is like 17 centimeters, maybe 8 inches, just to be safe. Okay, this time, don't take the very middle of the wire. Just kind of estimate, find the middle, and then kind of slide down to like 1/3. So you're about 1/3 of the way, and then you have 2/3 over here. Right about there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Give yourself a little extra wire just in case. Make a loop. Make a nice little loop like that, a little bit smaller than your 6mm bead. And then give it one good 180 twist like that. Now take your template and lay it down there. Take the shorter end first. Bring it around. And to get a nice curve, you don't want to pull it from close to where you're curving. To get a nice curve, you pull from way back. That'll give it a nice even curve. So when I was pulling, I wasn't trying to curve it like this. I was pulling from back here. So I press that down like that, and then I pull until the curve matches the paper. And then I try to guess how much am I going to need just to go around and make that loop. Cut off the extra. Give yourself a little bit more if you're not sure, because you can always cut more off. You can't go back and magically make more wire appear. Get your round nose pliers, go about, well, however big you need to make the loop. And there's our second loop. Test it, make sure it's good. All right. And flatten it. Make sure this sharp end isn't coming out to scratch you. Make it nice and flat. Squeeze real tight. Be firm. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to bend it from wide out here to get my nice, holding everything down where it's supposed to be. Don't let anything move. And there we go. We're going to cross it out. Give it a little bit more room because once you fold it over, it's going to tighten. So I'm coming out a little bit farther than where I drew the pen. And then try to hold that spot. Twist it around. You're going to go around once, all the way around. Let's put it back and make sure it lined up pretty close. Yep, that's close enough for me. Now we're going to take that wire and come across here. Put your bead on. Make sure your bead fits first. Not every bead fits 18 gauge. And if it doesn't, you can use 20 gauge, but it'll be a little more flimsy. It won't look as nice. So we're going to put it not in the middle, but a little bit higher like this, because then we're going to bend it. Give it a good bend like that. And then now we're going to place it in the middle. And now we're going to hold the bead and bend it back the other way so it has like an S curve to it. And then just when you feel like it's right in the middle where you want it to be, hold everything tight and start to scarf the top part. And again, you can scarf it as much as you want. Fold up this part, cut it off. Just leave yourself a little tab to tuck in. Pinch that tab towards the middle. And then turn and pinch it down into the little bowl you made. Boom. Everything's tucked. Everything's good. Now you got to kind of wonky adjust it with your fingers, like kind of mold it and shape it, because it's not perfectly centered. So you got to jam it and force it and fight with it and tell it to be perfectly centered. And your first one might not be perfect, but do your best. Now, if I made a larger loop, or whatever you want to call this thing, it would be easier. There would be, the smaller and tighter it is, the harder it is to bend thicker wire. If you make it wider, you have more leverage. So you can make it wider, but I wanted this specific size. Here's the first one I did while I was practicing when you guys weren't watching because the camera wasn't on. So this one was a little bit larger. But either way, so I'm going to trial and error this. So my next one, I think I like it a little better when they're a little bit larger. All right, so that's more like that. And again, make a bunch of these. If you don't use them as earrings, you can string them together with some jump rings. They could be bracelet pieces. You can bend them to fit the wrist if you want, so they're a little bit curved this way. But you can do a bunch of cool things. You can link them together as necklace pieces. So if you make a bunch and they're different sizes and some are wonky, like, don't feel bad. It's practice. And once you get two that fit really well, boom, there's your earrings. And they're cute and they're fun. You can dangle little things from one side, whatever you want to do.